So you're going to your first figure skating event in person, and you've taken a look at the schedule only to see that the first competition doesn't start until after 12 p.m. This is because the morning is devoted to practices for the skaters. And if you've purchased an all-session ticket, you're invited to go to those practices as well. But if you'd rather do something else, I have a few ideas. My first recommendation is to try one of the local restaurants for brunch or an early lunch. Let's face it, stadium food is pretty much the same no matter where you are, and overpriced. So take the opportunity to have a leisurely meal at one of the local restaurants. You can usually find recommendations on the internet or in guidebooks. Also, Saturday usually has 2 sessions with a break in between. And if that break is long enough, investigate the local restaurants instead of hanging around the arena for another hour or 2. Prepare ahead of time by looking at your Google Maps and see what's in the area, or just wander out and explore. It'll be a lot better than a second round of hot dogs or chicken nuggets. My second recommendation is to sightsee. Most cities will have a top 10 recommendation on TripAdvisor, so take the opportunity to see something other than the hotel, the arena, and the airport. When I was in Toronto for Skate Canada, I had rented a car just so that I could drive over to see the Canadian side of Niagara Falls. I had seen it from the US side before when I was a teenager, but seeing it from this side was a fantastic opportunity. And I just really enjoyed being able to be behind the waterfall and look out over this spectacular view. When I was in Nashville for Nationals, we had an unexpected blizzard which put a little bit of a crimp in my tourist plans, but fortunately there was an art museum right across the street from my hotel. So when it opened up the day after the blizzard, I went over there and spent a couple of hours just wandering around looking at their exhibit. It was a great deal of fun and an unexpected opportunity. When I went to Worlds in Montreal this past March, part of my family came with me, and we took the opportunity of a late start one day to spend time just wandering around Montreal. We went to the Architecture Museum, which was fascinating, and walked along the waterfront and visited some of the historic parts of the city. I really recommend taking the time to see the local sites. After all, you never know when you're going to have an opportunity to come back to this city. Guidebooks are a good source for sightseeing places, and as I said, there's always a top 10 on the internet. Or look for YouTube videos from people who've been to that city before. Another idea is to meet up with fellow fans. The Friends of Figure Skating usually has a breakfast at US hosted events like Skate America and US Nationals. It's a ticketed event, so you have to pay for it, but it's breakfast and you get a chance to talk with other fans, and sometimes they'll have a guest speaker. I've enjoyed it every time that I've gone. Another idea is to meet up with fellow fans that you've met through Discord or forums or even at past events. It can be a lot of fun to catch up, to talk about what events you've each gone to in the past, about what you're looking forward to and what you've already seen at this event. Skating is a community, and it's fun to forge new bonds and strengthen the ones that you already have. Finally, check out the vendors that are set up at tables throughout the arena. Although a majority of these are geared towards the skaters themselves, with boots and costumes and blades and such, these can be fun to look at, and sometimes they'll even have a display of historical costumes. Also, the hosting federation will generally have a booth set up where you can buy souvenir t-shirts, sweatshirts, programs, pins, and other similar things. they're worth a look. Now that I've given you some ideas on how to spend your free time, go out and enjoy yourself. If you have any questions, or if you've done something fun while at an event and you'd like to share it, please leave that in the comments below. And I'll see you in my next video where I break down the cost of attending an event in person. See you soon.